Hello, this is Rachel with Mic Drop Miniatures, and today we are going to make this amazing buffet. Look at it, isn't it amazing? So the first thing we want to do is remove all the protective tape from the front and the back of your lasered pieces. This protects the wood from the laser. Next, we are going to take the bottom, which is E, and the back, which is B, and we are going to glue them together. I am using here a really fine tipped glue bottle, which I highly recommend for any miniature making. And we are going to glue the back to the bottom. I am using here some Lego pieces, and this helps me keep my pieces square and flush while drying. All right, now for video purposes, I'm going to keep going, but I would definitely recommend drying this piece before moving to the next step. But here I put a little laser indication on the back, and that's where you glue on the shelf. So here I have a dried piece where my back is now glued. My shelf is now glued to my back. Okay, moving on, we're going to grab sides. We got two of these. These are sides A, and we're going to glue those to the side. Again, I'm going to use my fine tip glue. Love this thing. And glue the sides to the back and to the bottom. Again, grab my handy Legos that I stole from my kids and glue these pieces into place. And you guessed it, we're going to probably want to let this dry before moving on to the next step. At least let it dry for a couple minutes. You'll thank me, promise. Just make sure that all your pieces are flush, the bottom is flush with the sides before moving on. Okay, the next step, what we're going to do, I'm going to just keep going because of this video. I'm not going to let it dry. But we are going to grab now the front, which is B. You'll notice that your B has two inserts inside. You're going to take those out, but don't discard them. If you got the April subscription box, then we are going to make another DIY project with those little inserts. So don't throw them away or use them for a different project. All right, so glue that front piece, again, which is B, to the front of your cabinet. If you don't know what the subscription box is, you can check it out at minisubscriptionbox.com. And each month we have a DIY much like this one. All right, so there's your cabinet. It's coming along really nicely. Making sure that all sides are flush with each other and square. And again, you guessed it, we're going to let this dry before moving on to the top. But I'm going to continue to go without letting it dry. Here's my top, which is E. It's got a little bit of an overhang on all sides. Trick here is you just want to make sure that your overhang is the same for both sides. If you want maybe it can hang over a little bit more on the back or on the front, that's up to you. But I would just make sure that the sides have equal amount of the hangover on the sides. There we go. Mine looks pretty good. And let that dry. So I do have a piece here that's finished. I'm going to move on to the legs. There's 4 legs. I did put a decorative piece running down each leg. If you don't necessarily like that, you can always just flip it over and use it that way. I should have mentioned too that I like to sand and paint my pieces beforehand. And for the legs, make sure that there's equal hangover for each, just like the top, just so it looks symmetrical. And now for the doors. These doors you can either just simply glue on if you don't want them to open and close, or I will show you how to make a simple hinge, or you can buy little hinges at any craft store and put those on. So there's our finished piece. Next I'll show you how to make a simple hinge. All right, so now for the doors. I'm going to show you how to make a hinge using washi tape. I love washi tape. I use it for a lot of things, miniatures, journaling, scrapbooking. So here I'm going to run a thin piece of glue along my door, making sure that the washi tape is flush with the side so it doesn't overhang over the front. And again, I would let this dry. However, I'm just going to continue to move on. All right, now that that's in place, we want to cut off the excess on the sides, making it flush. And now the trick here is you want to get a good crease. So really rub it with your finger and then fold it back on itself to make a really nice crease. This is where having it dry is really nice. All right, now we're going to glue this to our hutch. I would do this before you put the legs on, and even the top, it just makes it a lot easier. So put that in place, make sure that it is square. I'm going to cut off the excess. And then here I'm going to take just a needle and I'm going to rub the glue and the tape down just to get a really nice adhere to the buffet. And then I'm going to attach the legs over the washi tape. Again, I would paint or stain before doing this step. And there we go. We have working doors. I hope that you enjoyed this project. If you'd like to see more projects like this, check it out at micdropminiatures.com. Thanks.